Hello, today I want to talk about a more mature eye look. Maybe you have aging eyes that you find are starting to have more of a hooded look, or maybe you just want that bright eye when you wake up in the morning, maybe stayed up too late. So I'm going to give you a couple tips and tricks. If you have a hooded eye and you're looking for a cat eye or a nice smoky eye, using a sparkly eyeshadow, something like that, there's plenty of resources on the internet. You can just search in YouTube. I'm gonna look for more of a clean look, more natural look, but really kind of opening up that eye. Some tips and tricks that I found that have worked just by playing around. So first off, the brows. So you can wake up in the morning and your brows maybe just a little disarray, even if you don't think they are. Take a brush. So I have a brush that's on the end of my eyebrow pencil. So our eyebrow pencil comes with this little spoolie brush, so it's really easy just to brush up. So you're bringing everything up. If you don't have an eyebrow pencil and don't use one, you can find something at Walgreens or Target or something like that, just in the eyeshadow section. You'll see it has kind of a brush on one side and then more of like a fine tooth comb on the other. You can use that as well. A couple things you can do too is for a more uniform look is get an eyebrow pencil closest to your eye color and fill in some of that sparse look. So that's more of a uniform look. The other thing too, you might not like a pencil, but is a gel. So I use both. This is medium. I use medium in both the brow pencil and the gel, and this has a spoolie brush in itself. And this also comes in invisible. So if you like the way your brows look, maybe you have them done, but you need them to look more uniform and stay put throughout the day, use an invisible brow gel. It has the brush in it, and then that's bringing everything up. So that's number one, is your brows. Number two is using a primer. So as we age, if you find that you have more of a hooded eye look, this brow bone skin might come down onto that lid. So it's really hard to find the definition between the both. And so if you're using an eyeshadow, you might find that the eyeshadow doesn't stay on all day because that's skin on skin. So using a nice primer, I like this Gabrielle primer. You can see that I just tap it on. It's not oily, so it gives a nice base to start using my eyeshadow. Then I use our, and if you have our concealer, you know that we had a little issue with the applicator. They have it fixed and we are launching it soon. So concealer consistency is staying the same because the formula was amazing. If you had an issue with your concealer with the applicator breaking, reach out to me because I'm going to take care of it for you. So I digress. But anyway, so I'm just using a little lip gloss thing because I don't want to not use the rest of it. But you can also take a little concealer and put it right underneath that top arch of that eyebrow, and that really will also brighten up there. So taking that concealer right up there and then bringing that in a nice uplifted look, so brightens that eye up there. So that's another option you can do. So moving on to, well, let's move on to, I'm gonna move on to tight lining. So I was using this earlier, so you can see, I like to take a nice flat brush. I actually like one better than this, but it was on back order, so I was using this one. Kyra Weiss has a really great eyeliner pencil, so really flat and fine but you can see this, it's not a poofy brush like a blending brush. That's not gonna work. So use a nice flat brush and you're gonna tight line those eyes. And what that means is I'm taking a nice color that's noir. This is from one of our palettes from Holiday. It's actually still in the last chance section. It's a really great deal. But I like this noir color because there's no shimmer in it, and it's a nice black color. But I take a little dab on the end, and then I am going to take the lid with my pinky finger, and I'm going to fill in between where I would be putting my mascara. So filling in that area in between the lashes. So I have done this already here, but you can see that that gives a nice dark look, opens up the eyes, and it complements your mascara when you put that on. So I tight line that area that is on the waterline on both of my upper lashes. You can do this as well on the lower line too, but what I like to do is I like to take this bright color from Kyra Weiss, and this is nude instead of white because white can be a little stark. And then I like to tight line my waterline with this nude pencil. So really opening up that eye again. Then we're moving on to mascara. I'll go back to eyeshadow because I have a little bit more things to say about that. So depending on whatever order you put this in, we're talking about mascara right now. So taking mascara, of course, and then wiggling at that lash line and then taking the brush all the way through your lashes is a great way to really accentuate where you've tight lined that dark line around that lash line and then sweeping up. And so nice 2 coats on that. Then if you do like to wear mascara on your lower lash line, here's a trick that I'm going to tell you. So instead of taking the wand and doing this, take the brush that you tight lined, because you're going to wash this afterwards, and then you're going to just kind of paint it on. So painting on those lower lashes instead of taking that brush. And so just gives you a little bit of color, but doesn't close that eye up, because a lot of times if you get too much mascara on that lower line and then the upper line, it gets kind of clumpy. So that really keeps it nice, bright, and open. Okay, so we're moving into, eyeshadow. Okay, so I like to take a nice base color, so something similar to this, and not too much shimmer. But what I've done is I've taken an all over blending brush and I apply that all over my eyelid. Then next, and I already have my eyeshadow on because I didn't know if I could do this at the same time. So then I'm taking my other color, and instead of using a brush that's gonna be thick like this, or even like this, I take a nice flat brush. I'm obviously not going to use this brush, but I have another brush that's very similar to this, but that has a little bit more definition than a fluffy brush. And then I'm applying my eyeshadow in my lid, but here's the trick. So if you have a hooded eye, you really want to make sure that you take that just above that crease. So you can see I have this nice, dusk color. And so I'm going to take that, and you can see that I have it just above that line, because a lot of times if you just put it on that lid, that color is going to get lost. And while you're applying your eyeshadow, make sure your eyes are open and not closed, because then we tend to just put it right in that, if we are just doing this over and over again, not like the windshield wiper look. So that's one of the biggest tricks too, is to make sure that you're taking that eyeshadow just above that crease line, so creating kind of a new crease. And then finally, I didn't bring my beauty blender in here, but what I like to do is whenever I am applying my eyeshadow, a lot of times when you're applying your eyeshadow, you tend to go down. So making sure, if you've done that, take a little concealer or a little bit of your foundation. And if you have a clean brush that's similar to this, you can kind of wipe up and take that beauty blender and then brush up. So that's cleaning up any of the eyeshadow that came down here accidentally. So that gives that nice uplifted look on the sides. And I think that's it. So another thing too, I talked about matte colors, and if you're using glittery or colors like that in eyeshadows, I tend to stay away from the whole eye or accentuating up here. And then making sure sometimes you just have that shimmer right on that lid look. So when you close your eyes, you can see that shimmer. If you do want to put it on there, make sure that you do bring it up just a little bit, and then you can use a nice blending brush to just sort of blend the matte and a little bit of shimmer, because otherwise it's going to just get lost on the inside if you have a hooded eye right on that lid. So hopefully there were some helpful tips and tricks, and I tried to go fast, but if I went too fast, please reach out or just ask questions and I'm happy to help.